Doing well today. I'm super delighted to be on today's live session. If please you're um joining us, please just give us a thumbs like. Please double click. Okay, you won't see it there. Bring the phone. So you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm super happy to be here. All right. Um, we're here again. We're here again, and I want to say a very big thank you to everybody. More importantly, those who have been with us for a very long time. Thank you very much. I appreciate this. In case you're seeing this, um, just give us a thumbs like. Click this video. Um, we're here. So I want to quickly appreciate everybody that have been joining us here. And the reason why we are always coming live basically is to talk majorly, okay, about the fundamental issues, okay, that is concerning real estate um, investment in Lagos. And the purpose of this video basically is not to create, any other form of, let's say, probably any form of panic. No, the aim basically is not real estate development is done. Again, I want to say a very big thank you to everybody um, on this live today. So, like I said, we'll be having this live twice every week, Tuesdays, 3 p.m. and on Thursdays, 3 p.m. Sorry, we are a little bit behind schedules. I just got back from a physical allocation. I'll be sharing the videos so that our people can see. It was a successful allocation, we thank God. So let's talk about the challenges faced by real estate development companies. Let's talk about the reason why many of them have struggled to live up to expectation, and the reason why I can accurately tell you the way things are, or the situation of things, is based on the fact that um, I am very close with some of these developers, and I've seen myself in situations whereby all these things have been happening. So I want to say these are some of the challenges, and these things are obviously it's not an excuse basically, but it's just for you to know while some of them are find it extremely difficult to live up to expectations. So on today's life, I'm going to be talking about some of the problems that majority of them are having, and I'll be talking extensively on what you need to do for you to navigate. But before I go into this topic, let me quickly make some clarifications because a lot of people don't seem to understand what I was saying in my previous video. And the reason why I'm also saying this basically is due to the fact that it's still quite unfortunate that a lot of people are still misquoting or misinterpreting what I meant by Kali, is that you should be very careful so that you don't fall into the arms of someone who will definitely put your investment into jeopardy. So that was what I was saying in the previous video. I know I've said it before that I I sell real estate, and one of the things I've done over time basically is that I have been advising people on the kind of real estate that they should do. So let me quickly say this again so that I will not be misquoted. I'm not saying you should not buy, okay? I'm not saying I ever said that. But what I'm saying basically is that you should be, mindful of who you are buying from, because if you don't put that, into adequate consideration, there will be a lot of um, issues in the future. So please, I'm a realtor. Let me start by saying this. And what we do basically, is that we try as much as we can, okay, to give you real estate investments that matches your expectation and your desire. And in the process of doing that, we try, as much as possible, okay, for us to explain some basic fundamental things so that you will understand what you're getting yourself into. You see, in my last video, I said that one of the reasons why some of us today, are in situations that we find ourselves today, it's just based on the fact that we did not foresee some of these circumstances. So what I'm saying in essence, or what I said in the past video, is that if you're buying real estate, it is very important, okay, fundamental things, or the fundamental risk that may be attached to such investment. So I'm not saying that you should not buy land or properties that you want to hold or you want to use for land banking. What I'm saying basically is that you should assess the real estate developer, just for you to know, okay, if the person you are buying property from is not somebody, okay, that wants to leave your investments and of course abandon it to start another project. So my emphasis in the last video was talking extensively on brand identity and the necessity for you to do a thorough due diligence before you go into any form of real estate investment in Lagos. So I believe that is perfectly understood. And for some of us who may not understand, please, that was what I meant in the last video. So I'm not saying you should not buy. What I said in the other video, in my past video, is that we don't want you guys, okay, to make the same errors, the same mistakes that we did when we started out in real estate. So that was why we said these are some of the strategies that some people will use. These are some of the things they would say, and after you have purchased, you will now find out that some things have happened, and a lot of people may be regretting. In fact, after that last video, I had several conversations with some real estate investors who could relate to some of the things I said. And I told you that when we give important informations like this, we are not sharing information simply because we want to discourage real estate investors. No, we don't do that. What we are doing basically is that we tell you the way things are, so that if you have to make a decision, you'll be making a decision based on what you know. It's very critical, okay, for every real estate investor understand. So we are not saying you should not buy properties. We're not saying you should not do land banking. I'm not saying you should not invest in Ikorodu. I'm not saying you should not invest in Ibadan. All I'm saying basically is that before you invest, it is very important, okay, that you analyze, okay, the integrity and of course the seriousness of the real. The purpose of the previous discussion is for you to understand basically that, understand what you are getting yourself into, understand the risk that are certainly connected to such real estate investment. And when you have done that, you'll be able to make some important decision, okay, and this decision obviously will put you in a vantage position for you to make informed real estate choices. So these are some of the things I said in the previous video. So today we are going to talk about some of these challenges that some real estate developers are having. And on today's episode, I'm going to highlight some of the basic things that have happened, and I'll be citing some historical incidents of some properties, so that you people will have and an informed information concerning this. Okay, so these are some of the things that I'll be discussing today. Like I said, I'm just coming back from the physical allocation. I just had my bath, and because of the fact that I have given my word that we're going to have this live, okay, that was why I've decided that we're going to give it all it takes for us to be here. So once again, I want to say a very big thank you to everybody that have joined this live. Now, like I said, the purpose of this video is not, okay, in any way having this intention to to undermine the contributions of real estate investors or real estate developers. No, we know companies that have done extremely well, and we try as much as possible, okay, to push these companies to the face of real at least those who deserve, the best real estate services. I want everybody to be part of this conversation because I consider it to be, very critical and important as well. So this obviously is a very important thing. So on our Thursday's live session, by God's grace, okay, as God grants us grace to be here. So we are going to be talking extensively on due diligence. I'm going to be talking about the types of due diligence you should do, and I'm also going to talk about some of the ways you can, unravel dangers, even if you are visiting, a real estate development for the first time. So this is going to be an insightful and, of course, important topics. Apologies for this. So let's quickly talk about the challenges that it has confronted real estate developers. Now, this obviously, I'm not speaking in defense of any any real estate development company. I have not been paid. I'm not, as you can see, I'm not doing commercials for any of them, but it is very critical, okay, as human, that we should also sympathize and, of course, appreciate the sincere and the hardworking real estate development developers. And I'll be picking a case study, okay. Now, if you have looked at, the enormous development that has been happening in the Lekki-Epe corridor, more especially the recently constructed Lekki-Epe Expressway, you would understand and you will appreciate greatly, the significant contribution, okay, of some real estate development companies, what these guys have been doing. So let's just quickly, dive into it without wasting some other time. So what are the major challenges? The first challenge that real estate developers face is a challenge of what? Harsh government policies. I'm going to talk about this, and it is very important that now I'm not saying this in defense of any real estate development company, but I'm just opening, the eyes of our real estate investors to understand the reason why some of these companies are reason for this struggle. The first thing is the harsh government policies, and these policies, sometimes a lot of people have viewed it, okay, as a deliberate, attempt to crumble and crash their business. That's just it. Now, what are some of these policies? Now, the first and the most important thing, policies that the government has enacted, and these policies have, over time, crippled a lot of businesses in the real estate sector, is in the problem, is the issue of what? Title documentation. Now, I'm not saying that government have not given title documentation to real estate development company. Yes, they have. A lot of people have been, gotten their CFOs. A lot of people have gotten their governor's consent. A lot of people have gotten their title documentation. But in my interaction with some of these, real estate developers, many people don't have these privileges and this access compared to some who have it. Now, for instance, if you look at what is presently going on in Epe right now, I know, okay, I have some copies of some real estate development company who have for the approvals that government requested for. I know a real estate developer that has paid for his fencing permit. I know a real estate developer that has paid for his layout approval. I know several real estate developers who have, applied for C of O in the Epe corridor, and the process seems to be very, very rigorous. And that's why sometimes too, government policies have not, favored some real estate development company, and that is due to the fact that some of these policies, a lot of real estate development companies have considered it to be very, harsh. So if we talk about the challenges, we also need to, these guys are trying, at least for the few ones of them, are trying to make things right, and of course protect, the property interest, of course, of their investors. So the process has not been as easy as many people has anticipated. Okay, so I know what has been going on. I know people now, despite the fact, I know like 3 real estate development companies, okay, that have filed for this approval even before government started enacting it. And when the demolition started, some of these guys properties were demolished simply because they did not their approval. As in fact, these guys shared the evidence of payments, the documents they were asked to submit. Until today, I was surprised that the same company's property was demolished. So it's quite unfortunate, but this is just the reality of what is going on. So there is a lot of rigorous process in getting all the necessary approvals, and a lot of people has been talking about um what do you need to do, or how do you need, to secure all this approval. Now there've been a lot of allegations. Good afternoon, Madam Mercy. Okay, I'm going to respond to that quickly. Good afternoon, thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. I'm very happy having you here, Ma. Thank you. So okay, is it good investment? Okay, yes, Beechwood is a fantastic place. Beechwood is a fantastic location. Beechwood is highly, secured, and Beechwood has some facilities. But like I've always say, do your necessary paper check to ensure that you are investing in the right property. Thank you very much for that question. Okay, so so a lot of people are saying that obviously is allegedly situation of things, that if you don't have the right connection, you can't get your C of O. If you don't have the right connection, you can't get all the necessary approvals and the like. So that actually has been the conception, okay, or the concept that some real estate some people have concerning documentation. Now let's talk about the issue of documentation. Now basically, before we started making videos on the typologies of properties we have in Ekpe, okay, we have known, okay, over time that Ekpe lands are subdivided into various categories. And what are these categories? Number one, I talked about forestry, I talked about agric lands, I talked about industrial land, I talked about commercial land. I also talk about a lot of, when you look at the Ekpe master plan, government has specified. And the reason why it is a little bit difficult, or extremely difficult, for some of these real estate development companies, okay, to have all their papers, to have your documents done, is due to the fact that I have to be very, very sincere. Many of them bought what they were not supposed to buy, and a lot of real estate developers were wrongly advised. They were wrongly advised by some hungry surveyors who wanted to make a living out of that property transaction. So I know a lot of people, in fact, when I also bought, of course, I also have a land that is agreed to, so I'm not like in a hurry to do a lot of things. I'm just trying to sit down and of course watch the situation of things, just for me to understand the way things are. So a lot of people were wrongly advised. Some, of course, I was also advised wrongly too. They told us that we can buy an agric land. All we need to do is, okay, get some ratification, do a lot of processing, pay government, and we will get our papers. And we thought that was the situation, and because of that, so with that in that feeling that you can rectify, you can pay some, we never knew that the process of ratification changes the status of an agri to who were wrongly advised. So they bought, some bought agri, some bought forestry with the intention that they will convert it. And today right now, the conditions that, in fact, there was a situation of a real estate development company that they went to, the land referred them to NTD, which is the Lagos State Newtown Development. Then after meeting Newtown Development said, see, you guys, you have to sit down and calm down. We've not heard from the government. When we hear from the government, we'll do it. So it is not, so if you buy agric, I've said it before and I'm going to say it again, and you want to change it to residential, presently it is impossible to achieve. Else you want to buy it directly from the government. Now one of the major challenges basically that some real estate developers are facing presently is that some of these guys bought land maybe from family, 500,000, 600,000, okay, and maybe they sold 800, 1 million. I don't know, I'm not there, but that is the way the industry works. Now someone that bought a land for 600 per plot from family, and it sold for maybe 2 million, okay, or it sold for 1.5, and you are now asking the person, okay, after paying family and after scoring out some some little expenses, like putting on gatehouse, doing a lot of development, you are asking that same person now to come and buy that same land from government because they want to get C of O. You're asking them to pay 3.5 to 4 million. That obviously is not realistic, and that is why I said that most of these real estate development companies that have sold Ekpe will definitely, none of them will even contemplate to perfect title. So government policies have been very, very frustrating, very, very frustrating, and a lot of things. Now the second factors or the second challenges that real estate quite do, there's, and go to the kitchen, there's a door. Okay, so let's talk about the Omonile and the land grabbing activities. This obviously is also another frustrating experience. Um, I've seen instances whereby two or three real estate development companies are mostly fighting, okay, over the control of some large acres of land. I've seen um, real estate development companies spending millions on estates, remember, putting on all the necessary infrastructures, doing a lot of development, and today most of them don't have control of the property, that they sold to investors. Sorry. And this is a major reason. This is a major reasons why it is very important that um you need, you see, when I was talking about due diligence, a lot of people just think that what we do in due diligence is we just check the documents. It doesn't. Due diligence does not stop at checking the documents. After you certify the documents, after you have confirmed from Ministry of Land that the land has the title, it is free from every encumbrance, the next thing you're also going to do is to verify who is actually the real owner of such property, which obviously is always a difficult scenario. Yes. Okay. Please let me quickly answer Madam Mercy. Okay, if you have a two-bedroom flat, it depends on the area of Beechwood, okay, the property is. I'm seeing your questions. So we have not gotten to the question answer, but I think I can interchangeably. Now it depends on the area of being rent two-bedroom for 1.2, 1.5. Now people have this general assertion that because Beechwood is a fenced and gated estate. Now what I'm trying to say basically is that the development and the facilities that some people are enjoying in Beechwood does not cover the entire Beechwood. Yes, truthfully, there is constant power supply in Beechwood. Okay, there is good road infrastructure, but you see, Beechwood is a bigger, in fact, is one of the biggest estates that we have in Ibejuleki. So there are some places that the power supply did not get everywhere. There are some people who are sourcing their light differently from a different source. So I really need to explain that before I go further. So if you are saying two-bedroom, you need to find out if that places is still at the main Beechwood estate, because there are other places, okay, that are outside Beechwood, okay, but and they are not enjoying the same facilities. Are you with me, ma? So what you want to do basically is that you want to investigate where this property is. Now if this property is within that same Beechwood estate that is enjoying security, enjoying power supply, enjoying the good road network, enjoying the ambience, and the quietness, you want to find out if that property is within that same Beechwood, because there are still other parts of Beechwood that are still not developed. There are still some places that are still bushes. There are still some places, because I live very close to Beechwood, so I know what I'm saying. There are still some places that are not developed. So you want to find out, okay, if that land is within that developed place axis of Beechwood, because it is not, the entire Beechwood is not all developed. Are you with me, ma? We're in Beechwood. So I'm going to brief break now. Please kindly stay online. I want to get some water and I'll be back briefly. Just stay online. I'm coming, please. property is, you really want to confirm that, so that you'll be able to enjoy, these facilities. Because one thing about the facilities is that it's not open to everybody. It's only open to some, few people. So that's it, man. So let's go back to our discussion, the major challenges. Now, the next challenges I was talking about is omonile, and I've seen instances whereby there are issues within real estate development companies, and omonile was involved. In fact, there are some that I don't want to mention their name online. These people are very, very influential. When we talk about land grabbing, in one of my videos, I stated that it is an office, it's a profession here. So there are some people who are the people who are actually in control of some places in Lagos. So there are some places you cannot enter without seeking the attention and the permission of these people. And when we have cases of land grabbers and stuff like that, even people are always careful, okay, to intervene. So it is not all situations you just moving in. And these are, some of the challenges that some of these real estate companies are facing. So you want to look at these and talk and be careful. So Omolile has been issues. A lot of projects has been altered. A lot of people have lost their money. A lot of people have lost possession of their land, and people who feel cheated, okay, are having. So that's why we have a lot of court injunctions on some estates that has been sold several years ago, because of the fact that some parties, believed to have been cheated. So these are, some of those things that you need to, put into consideration. So that's also another reason. So another point that I'm going to state here, another challenge, okay, that most of these real estate companies are facing, okay, is in the area of inflation. Now, when we talk about so many things in the real estate sector, now I basically that a lot of people have their challenges and the likes, and truthfully, inflation has not helped a lot. Now, for some of people who have been investing, okay, in the Lagos State real estate market, you would have understood basically that most of these companies have increased their services. Like, for instance, if you are paying, for some of us who are doing land banking, if you have been paying, let's just say maybe 400 or 500,000 in time past for development fee, some are charging 1 million, 1.5. And then, of course, basically that is due to the fact that the cost of building materials, the cost of services, of course, this is affecting a lot of things. And the reason why this is biting harder is due to the fact that some of these real estate companies are just new, okay, and majority of them are not poorly funded. And one of the reasons why some of these real estate companies are feeling the bite of this inflation is due to the fact that some of them are one-man business, okay, like the reason why I actually choose to stick, I prefer to work, with a real estate company that is not one person that is making the decision. For some of you who have been following the trend, it is easier right now for a real estate company to be declared bankrupt and nothing happens. But if you deal with, some real estate firm that is not a one-man business, like these guys have board of directors, they have board of partners, they have branches across the world, and then when there are issues of finances or court cases, these guys can, like it was said in the Bible that two heads are better than one. So sometimes, for me as a person, if I'm making property decision, I don't make decision based on, in fact, sometimes I don't even deal with a real estate company that is just one person that has the final decision. Because you see, sometimes we've seen real estate development company taking crazy decisions, and these decisions have, led to the end of, have led to the fall and collapse of several. So it is important that when you are working with a real estate company, you want to work with a real estate company that of directors, that has partners abroad, that is big sales, is not lying in one person. Do you understand? So in that kind of situation, you will notice that there is longevity of activities, there is quality of service delivery. In fact, these guys will even tend to make better decisions. Sometimes if a real estate development company decides to do anyhow, it's just because of the fact that it's the sole aim. And sometimes any decision is made right now is not, it's not mandated to do, what is needed. So these are, some of those important things that you want to put into consideration, and these are some of the challenges. Now let's talk about some development. Now, I was talking about in my last video, I was talking extensively on why you should be careful with some of the land banking investments you should do. Okay, and I cited some instances of how even me making this video, of course we started newly, so the things I knew today I did not know it then. How some of us were duped, and to our greatest surprise, some of these guys are sold to us presently that majority of them are no longer in the country, and some are nowhere to be found. I've seen instances of people using real estate as a means of raising funds and traveling out or buying properties abroad. That obviously is a case for another day. There are some real estate development companies who have been accused of siphonning real estate, abandoning projects, and using the funds, the hand-earned money of some investors to buy properties abroad. In fact, there are cases that, so I won't be talking about that. So I was saying basically that if you are buying land banking, okay, you really want to be careful of who you are buying from, so that you will not suffer a similar fate of what happened to us, for some of us who started buying Ibejuleki as far back as 2019. That was what I was explaining. I'm not saying that you should not buy land banking or you should not buy from these, but for instance, a lot of that, most of these guys cannot be held accountable. Most of these guys don't have the basic foundation or the basic sustainability plan for them to exist 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years even after their operation. Most of them don't even have a good succession plan, whereby a lot of things will not go wrong when they are not available. So basically, I need to make that assertion. I have a lot of properties I've bought for land banking. I have a lot of properties that I do. So basically, I'm not saying you should not buy. I'm just saying be careful, okay? And of course, if you want to buy the axis, I have one or two, okay, that I can vouch for, that these guys have been in the industry. In fact, they have building projects across the world. So if they're selling land banking, that these ones will develop and they will not, cut away with money. Unlike buying from someone who has what we call an ulterior motive. So these are, some of the things that I was explaining in my last video. It was just quite unfortunate that I was, misinterpreted or misunderstood. So this is why I'm making that clarification. Now, for instance, look at, I'm going to use Amen City as a yardstick. Now look at what these guys have been doing for quite some time now. Look at their Amen phase 1, 100% residential. Their phase 2, 100% residential. They have the basic services in phase 1 and phase 2. And one thing that stands them, I'm not marketing them, but I'm just giving this as an assertion or as an example of what a meaningful real estate development should look like. I know I've said it in one of my videos that most of the people that are going into development don't even understand what the concept of development is. Some people's idea or concept of development is you buy land in large acres, you sell it. But look at what Amen City is doing. City has been in the industry for, I would say, for quite a long time. In fact, they were part of the first real estate development company, okay, that transformed. Now, the reason why many people are running to Ibejuleki today was due to the fact that these guys did something truly remarkable in Ibejuleki. They beautified Ibejuleki. Now look at the way they are doing development. Their phase 1 is 100% residential. Funke Akindele and some notable celebrities are residing there. Their phase 2 is 100% residential. And in fact, one thing that's clear, that stand them out is that light does not go off in Amen, either in their phase 1 and phase 2. Light does not go off. They have good roads, they have drainages, they have electricity, they are a model of what development should be. Okay, now there are some couple of companies that are living up to that expectation, but I would say that Amen City, okay, have that standard. Now look at their phase 3. There are several houses in their phase 3, and you will notice that for some of the properties they have sold, okay, they are putting development there. So these guys are not eager to do phase 4, phase 5, phase 6, phase 7, phase 8. They are concentrating and making the property they have sold to people habitable. And to me, as far as I'm concerned, I think that is what the ideology of what development should be is. Are you following? So I just drove past their Tiara phase one right now, and they have started clearing the frontage, and they have started doing, because they promised to put a lot of facilities. But what you will see is that every day, okay, they, what I'm saying in essence is that they don't have too many estates. They only have 5. And out of what real estate development should be, or what I would say is that top real estate development company needs to go and look at what Amen City is doing, and that is what I call development. These guys are not in a rush to have phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, phase 5, phase 6, phase 7. These guys just want to give investors value for their money. As far as I'm concerned, okay, that is what development should be, as far as I'm concerned. Now, some couple of companies have been doing that. Give it up to Landmark Corporate Realty. Give it up to Veritasi. Okay, I don't mention companies, but this time around, if you see someone who is doing well, you should give them kudos. Veritasi is doing fantastic. Landmark is doing fantastic. Efficacy True is they are trying. At least I've seen some traces of development in their company. They're also doing fantastic. So I believe that what development should be is like, at least the ones you have sold, do something meaningful. At least let people have value for the property they have paid for. Give them value for their money. Don't just be in a hurry to do phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, phase 5, phase 6, phase 7. If you want to do a land banking, let it be known from the onset. Not saying you provide electricity, you provide tarred road, you do this, and you even struggle. Some of these guys even struggle to do the necessary things. So it is very important that you look at this, so that you can have a thorough understanding of what we're trying to. So these are the challenges that some top real estate companies are having. So I will want to take questions now. I want to take a question. So a lot of people have been asked, can we take questions? Yes, I want to. Very, very critical. Okay, so you want to look at that. So let's take questions very quickly before we call it a day. Okay, this is 4 o'clock. I'll be stopping at exactly 4:20 p.m. so that we can attend to other things. If you're joining this live, just give us a double tap, like, and of course you can share this broadcast. Okay, so Beechwood is a fantastic location, ma. Beechwood is a nice place. Beechwood is very close to the Richland Garden. Beechwood is a fantastic place. Beechwood is serene. Okay, if I have a property in Beechwood, I'll be dancing, and of course, so you can have it. So we even want many people to invest in some of this area. So you have a good. Just ensure that the title is okay, and of course, is within where most of these facilities are. So let's take questions. Okay, so the first question is that, so what's your take on Legacy Garden? Okay, I've been to Legacy Garden. I've been to the phase 1. I've been to their phase 2. For what I've seen in phase 1, what I've seen in phase 2, they are doing a fantastic job. The phase 1 is well fenced. Okay, in fact, the fence is well done. And I spoke with some of the representative of the company, and they promised to do more. Okay, so it's a good place. If you want to invest, you can do that. And of course, I've done my search. It's okay. So that's it. That's that for Legacy Garden. Okay, you were explaining between excision in process and gazetted excision. What exactly is the difference between both? Okay, all right, let's talk about I think I'm going to be doing a series maybe next week, by God's grace, as God gives us grace. Okay, I'm going to be doing a series on understanding land documents. A lot of people today, where I explained some of these things. Okay, so I think in one description I'll be putting those questions, those videos there, so that we can have a total and a total understanding of this. Now, when they say excision in process, an excision in process is that there is no document on the land. So don't let us don't let us drag it far. Now, when they say there is no document on the land, that simply means that government has not given anybody control on that land. Now, if there is no excision on the land, does that mean that's the end for that land? No, it's not. That's obviously not the end for the land. I think what the real estate investor needs to do basically is to do a search on the land, to know the status of the land, to be sure if there is no road construction on the land, and of course do your findings and start the process of documentation. So that's for excision. Yeah, excision in process. What they are saying in essence is that there is no document on the land yet. Okay, the land can be free, but if it's excision in process, there's no document. So now when we talk about a gazetted excision is like an excision that has been granted. Okay, like for instance, I said in one of my videos that government don't give excisions to individuals, government don't give excision to companies, government don't give excision to government gives excision title to communities and villages. And that's why sometimes if you are searching, okay, a land and there's an excision, you found out that the excision is written in the communities. Like for instance, you can see Ibejuleki excision, and of course it will be stated the day the excision was given. I've seen excision of 2002, I've seen excision of 1998. So excisions are given to villages and community. That's why you find out that okay, that excision is written. You see Obayomi village excision, just like what we have in Capital Garden. So we need to also explain that so that we can put that in consideration. Now, when that excision has been recorded, okay, it becomes gazette. So you will, the day of was recorded, it will be written there. You write gazette number. You can just use that gazette number to check and verify. Of course, your source will be in a better position to make this thing happen. So that obviously is the difference. Okay, so this person says, what of freehold in Ekpe? Can we still buy? Well, I want to start by saying anybody that is still using freehold to sell Ekpe now, I would say the person is outdated. Now, let me start by explaining that a freehold is not a title. There's no way you go to Ministry of Lands, okay, and they will check and they will tell you government is saying this land. No, a freehold is a status of a property. Now, the status reveals that for now, okay, government does not have any construction or any interest in that property. So it is wrong to say the title of the land is freehold, because there's no way you will go to Alausa and you will check and you will see freehold. What you will see basically is that the land is free. The land does not have, so it is very it can become a title if they start processing documents on them, because I need to clear this assertion. So the question is saying, are freehold lands good? Well, yes they are. Yes they are. Of course, freehold land is like a gateway to you processing your title and doing the needful. Yes, freehold titles are very, very nice and fantastic. All right, so if you have questions, so let's have more questions. So I have a lot of questions that a lot of people have been asking. I think I've shared my contact. You can drop your questions on the live stream, but if you want your identity to be covered, a lot of people don't like revealing their identity. I understand very well, so I'm going to you can ask your questions. So that is for freehold. Okay, that is for freehold. It's not a title, it's the status of a land, and it shows if you can further process a title on document on that land. Oh, in case it's WhatsApp enabled, you can send your question privately so that we can adequately address it. So I hope that is clear. So okay, I still have I think 13 minutes more. We started this late, so I don't intend to drag it further. All right, so I have a question here, and this question says, what can I do if I've bought a committed property? Wow, this is massive. Okay, what can you do if you have bought the first thing is that don't do any project on it. You can build maybe a small security house and put an aboki that will be helping you to check and of course protect if you have anything valuable there. Okay, in the first place, you are not even supposed to buy committed land in the first place, and it is quite sad that a lot of people are still investing in real estate and they are, undermining the rules, okay, of um, involving experts. You obviously cannot undermine, okay, or undervalue the rules real estate personnel play in real estate investment. You obviously cannot, because the moment you do that, the situation becomes very, very messy. And a lot of people are always praying that people remain ignorant so that they can use that opportunity. So you're not supposed to buy. So what you do basically is that don't do anything meaningful there. um, Wait for a while. Let's say, for instance, maybe government may change their policy or adjust one or two things. But if you have bought a committed land, don't do anything meaningful. That's my advice. Don't do anything meaningful. Don't start any construction or anything, because if you do, as long as it's committed, it will be taken. I would say bulk of your decisions will still be made by you. All right. If you see, for some of us who have seen the video, Abuja demolition, I made a video that I posted. I think it was on a Sunday evening, and I would say that I need everybody to go and watch that video in case you have not seen it. At least we still hold you guys the responsibilities of getting you people informed on some of the things that are happening. But nevertheless, I should also say this, that you would not say because of what is going on, you don't want to have an asset that can make you wealthy in the future. Regardless of what you think, what you believe, what you know, or your perception about life, the truth is that everybody needs real estate. And real estate is one of the vehicles of ensuring financial independence for the owner's entire lifestyle. Now, this is now dependent on the kind of real estate and the location you have invested. I think I've done extensive video on that, so I will not be going into that. So instead of deciding not to, well, like I said, you will still be in a better position to make your own decisions. But instead of making that decision not to want to invest at all, I would say that you should still invest. There are still some places that are profitable. That radically is that because of what is going on in Nigeria, let government cannot take over all the lands across the federation. It is not possible. Despite the fact that the constitution says all land belongs to government, there are still some regulations and some things, okay, that restrict government activities and some other things. So it is not possible. And you should also keep having this mindset that government is coming after your property, because you see, as a man thinketh, so shall he be. So that is it. But the most important of all basically is that for any real estate investment, get us involved. I can say basically that we have knowledge of all these government policies and regulations, and these are some of the things we put into consideration when we are making um property recommendations. And that's it. Once a professional is handling your um investment, even if government decides to demolish till eternity, as long as you have done the right thing, you will definitely not be affected. So yes, there's an ongoing demolition in thank God it's online, everyone has seen it. So I'm not just the only person talking about it now. A lot of people are looking at this, so it's quite um what is happening. But that's your situation of things. So you want to put that into consideration, and of course get professionals like us help you handle it, because you know what we do, we investigate location and other thing. Okay. Okay, my time is almost up. I have like I think 7 more minutes, so I'll take questions. I want to start by appreciating everybody that joined us. For those who came and had to drop out because of things they have been doing, I appreciate you as well. So I'll take 2 more questions. Then, in the absence of no, we'll call it a day, and by God's grace, we'll be here on Thursday to talk about due diligence, researching the authenticity of an investment before you buy. So that's what we'll be talking about, and I'll be talking extensively on how to do this. So let me take these questions. Okay. This question says, is that if you are investing in a pair, you want to pay attention to the zoning system. That's the crucial, because you see, the zoning system will automatically determine what you can do with the landed property. It's very important. So if you have bought an agric land, don't have expectation that you will build on it, except you want to build the farm quarters. Of course, government will gladly give you approval for that because it's a land zone for agric. So understand the zoning regulation and the land use, what each properties are used for. Then secondly, you also want to pay attention to documentation. Like, a lot of people have interaction with me, and one of the things I told them basically is that I'm still going to buy property in Ekpe, but with the knowledge of what I know, I can assure you that I'm going to do it better than every other person that may be seeing an online ad and not understanding the risk. So what I'm saying in essence is that regardless of what government is doing or what is happening in this region, it will not stop me from investing, but the knowledge of what I have and what I know today will help me do it better. So for the fact that things are happening should not stop you from investing. It's just that you should intensify your due diligence and do what is needed before you buy. So I want to take 2 more questions because I have just like 5 minutes more. Okay, so this question says, what will you do? Have they started development in some of the estates across the Lekki Expressway? Yes, I'm just coming from there now. Yes, they are. There are several developments there. Yeah, a lot of people have been developing there. So, but the development is very rapid, but that doesn't mean you can build now. For some of you who have bought that Lekki Express, and if you have been following one of my videos, you will have realized that if you are buying real estate, put your investment on that portfolio. Have places where you want to buy and wait. Have places where you want to buy and earn rental income. Okay, buy places where you want to buy and start building. Now, if you have followed those trends, it's just quite unfortunate that a lot of people are they have more land banking than they have rental properties, buildable properties, and to me, I consider that not to be a very wise real estate decision. So you have to spread your investments. All right, so that's it. So I have 3 more minutes. First of all, I want to say a very big thank you. In case you have questions, please do well to send your questions to us via messages. Our numbers are on the screen. Thank you very much, Mrs. Messi. Thank you very much for everybody that have joined. For those who have asked questions, for those who ask, I appreciate everybody. Thank you. God bless you all. So let's meet on Thursday, same time, 3 o'clock on this channel. Please, if you have on this live, please just help us double like and like this video. And of course, you can watch. I'm going to post this video for some of you who might have missed. I will upload it again so that you can watch at your leisure time. Thank you very much. See you on Thursday. Of course, I'll be dropping in another video tomorrow by God's grace. See you by tomorrow. God bless you. Bye for now.